What up, players? So we got some breaking news. Um, they announced the Conor versus Poirier fight. Finally, we've been waiting for it for a little while, just a little while. You know, they were just saying that they were just waiting on Conor to accept the fight or to sign it, and now it's done. So it's time for prediction time. It's gonna be a tough one. I feel like it's gonna be a good fight. I feel like it's gonna be a better fight than the first fight. Just because of Poirier, you know, he's a more experienced. He's been in some wars. You know, and he's learned a lot since that first fight with Conor. Conor too. Conor has had his ups and downs ever since that fight. Obviously he lost to Nate, to Khabib. But he has got his wins as well. So we're gonna see where they're at this point in their career. It's gonna be at 155. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see where McGregor's at in his career, because we know where Poirier is at. He just had a war with Hooker. He looked good. So I got a little chart for you guys to break down the fight. First one is we're gonna start off with cardio. Alright. So I know what you guys thinking. I know I'm trying to bash Conor. He has no cardio. That's about right. He has no cardio. Nah, I'm trolling, but with the Nate, the second fight, he was able to keep up. You know, even though he did get beat up at the end of some rounds because he couldn't no more because he was tired. You know, he didn't go to the ground. He stood on top and you know, he didn't win a decision. So he didn't quit. You know, like the first fight. Poirier, we seen him go to a 5-round fight just recently with Hooker. You saw what he could do. So, yeah, we saw what he could do just recently. So, I think cardio, if they were to just go at it, just like if it was like the Nate and McGregor type of fight where they're just standing up the whole fight, I'm going to have to give it to Poirier. But I wouldn't be surprised if McGregor was able to keep up. All right, so for first one, we're going to give Poirier the check. Next up, we got the chin. I know. Now you guys gonna try to say I'm trying to bash Poirier because he got his ass knocked out. But that's not actually what I'm trying to do. So, McGregor, obviously we know he knocked out Poirier. It's been a little while since that happened, but he knocked him out. McGregor, he's never been knocked out. Well, at least I don't think so. I don't think so in the UFC. Yeah, he's the one that doesn't knock him out. So we see McGregor take some shots from Nate. They weren't like knockout shots, but he was tired and he was able to still take some shots. We saw Khabib dropped him, but you know, he was able to take it. Poirier, I feel like I want to say McGregor has a better chin, except for the fact that I saw Dan Hooker hit Dustin with some clean shots his last fight. With some clean shots, a whole bunch of I remember it was like the end of the second round, I think, where he just had him in the corner and he was just letting it out on Dustin. He didn't even have his hands up, and he took those shots, came back and won the fight. So I feel like Poirier's chin did get better. McGregor's never been knocked out, so I'm gonna have to give the edge to McGregor just because he has knocked out Poirier. But if he would have never knocked him out, I think I would have had it even. So we're gonna give that to McGregor. Then next up we got ground game. So we all know what McGregor has on his ground. He has his ground game is 0. It's 0, but obviously we heard he's been training his jiu-jitsu. You know, he got that weak boy Dylan Dennis, but obviously he doesn't do anything for him because we saw what happened in that first fight. We saw what happened with Khabib. He had a good fight with Khabib, but he still got destroyed. But yeah, his ground game. So Conor, obviously, we gotta see if he improves on that. I've heard that he was training his jiu-jitsu because he has to, literally. And Dustin, obviously, he's a black belt. We've seen Dustin go to the ground in his last fight. He looked pretty good. He almost had he likes throwing a lot of submissions. And yeah, he's active on the ground. He's pretty active on the ground. He likes throwing stuff. If he's on the ground, he's always trying to get up. He's always trying to find the cage, get up. So that's why I like Poirier on the ground. I think he's always he's always moving. He's never just right there laying down, doing nothing. So that one's for sure ground is Poirier. Right? Hopefully he doesn't maybe go to the ground and then jump a guillotine and tire his arms out like they could be. That's gonna be tough. And last but not least, we got Hart. So McGregor, he's been in some wars. With Nate. So he showed his heart on that second fight with Nate, but that's a while back. Then he fought Khabib. With Khabib, he got finished. So he tired him out. And obviously the Donald Cerrone won 40 seconds. Didn't really get to see much of Conor. But yeah, in this I think Hart, we saw Poirier's last fight, like I keep saying. It was a good fight. It was a 5-round fight. And he showed a lot of heart, actually. Because there was a point where he was actually losing like the round, and then he comes back next round and just takes over. And he was on top, I think, for like the last round, just trying to do like ground and pound on Hooker. But Hart, I think, is kind of, I feel like Poirier has been in more wars than McGregor. I think McGregor has only had those the Nate Diaz wars. And the rest, either he gets finished by Khabib or he knocks out everybody else. It was in the quick first round, second round. So Hart, I want to say Poirier just because of he has been in more wars. So he has that 5-level round experience. That's a tough one though, because we don't know which McGregor's gonna come out. We can have the McGregor that comes out from Nate Diaz the first fight, where he's like, oh, okay, I came out trying to knock him out and I gassed out, and then he has no choice but to go on the ground and lose. Or like the Nate Diaz second fight, where he's like, I know exactly what I did wrong. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna try to fight strategically, and not tire himself out, and then be able to keep up the whole 5 rounds. But I feel like if they're both tired, I'm gonna give it to Poirier. I feel like Poirier he's just not gonna quit. So with that said, 3-1. My final decision on who's gonna win is, obviously, based off of this chart, it's Poirier. So I'm gonna have to go with Poirier. I had originally chose McGregor to win, but after I'm looking at this chart that I made up right now, which is factual, I'm gonna have to switch it to Poirier. So I got Dustin the Diamond Poirier winning this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if he loses in the second round by knockout. That's the only way I see McGregor winning. If McGregor gets a first round knockout or second round knockout, obviously McGregor, I don't even that's the only way McGregor's gonna win, first, second round knockout. After that, I'm sorry, you're not winning the fight. It's back to old McGregor. We all know he's gonna come out. He comes out nice and strong, throwing those bombs. It also depends on Poirier. If Poirier's gonna come out, he's gonna come out, kind of scared or kind of, from thinking of the last fight, how he got knocked out. If he's kind of even a little in his head, McGregor's probably gonna win first, second round. But if Poirier comes out sharp, mentally good, how he's supposed to. If everything goes as planned, Poirier wins. So yeah, here's a chart. And the let me know what you guys think about this, and subscribe to your boy. Peace.